Okay, I think we are live. All right, good. All right, so welcome back to day 2 of SEO mastery, or mastering SEO. What we're going to talk about today is on-page SEO. What can you do once you have your keywords? How do you use them actually on your site to get the most bang for your buck? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to look at one of my blog posts that has been on the first page of Google search for over 4 years. And I get almost 100 hits a week on this one blog post because I did all the SEO right. So that's why it's my example, is because if you do a search right now, and I'll show you what some of the keywords were, pretty much anyone who looks for it is going to find me in this first 10 results. Most of the time I'm either 2 or 3. So sometimes I'm number 1, but I'm usually within the top 3 searches on this particular phrase. So let me see if I can share my screen. And yeah, definitely my computer is having some issues. It's like, yeah, well, I'll have to deal with it. So let's see here. And go here. All right, so do you know, Trey, what platform DESBA is on?
I believe it's on WordPress.
Okay, so beautiful, perfect, exactly what I mean. That's where you want to be, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to say, if you are on WordPress, and I highly recommend that you are, that there is a plugin, okay? And the plugin is called Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T SEO. Right here, Yoast SEO. Right here. Okay. And what Yoast does is it analyzes your page and tells you if your SEO is good or not. So let me show you, like, this is the one that, like I said, I get a lot of response to. So I'm going to talk you through Yoast, what they look for. And the great thing about this Yoast plugin, if you've got a WordPress site, you absolutely need Yoast SEO plugin. And it's a free plugin. Now, they're going to want you to upgrade to their Pro, to their Premium, but the free one will get you results too. Just saying. Okay, so Yoast SEO. You definitely want it if you're on WordPress. And the thing about the programmers behind Yoast is they stay up with all the algorithms that Google puts out, okay? So you will get updates to Yoast. If you see something that says update your Yoast, update Yoast because they are sharing information about what Google is looking for, okay? So get Yoast. Couple other fun things about Yoast. My little symbol for Yoast is right here. You can actually, if you've got Yoast installed, just right from this plugin, it does keyword research training, and their training is actually really, really good, and probably even more in depth than what I do. I mean, they really get into the weeds on research on keywords, but it's really helpful stuff, and it's always a great place for you to go back and review. And then they can hook you right into your Google Ads account once you get one established. Then they also do Google Trends, which is another way that I didn't mention yesterday, but that's another way if you are doing a blog post kind of thing, if you're doing like breaking news, you can always go into Google Trends and see what words and phrases are, you know, kind of trending that day, or, you know, in the last couple days, and you can write a blog post, you know, to be current. And so they hook you right into that. So we're, you know, and then you can go in, I mean, and you'll see like Search Console, we're going to talk about tomorrow. So some of these other tools we're going to look at tomorrow. But let's look at the Yoast SEO. So when you go down and you look at Yoast, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what is your focus key phrase, which is the same as what is your keyword or key phrase for this article, for this page. Okay, so you can have a different Yoast score on every single page, and it'll talk you about every single page on your website, how to make it better, right? I mean, it's wonderful. So it's going to ask you for what is your focus key phrase for that page, right? So you want a focus on every page.
Okay.
So you put it there. And then it says snippet, right? So what is the snippet? The snippet is when your page shows up in a search engine, what do you want it to say? Okay. So what you want, and you can edit the snippet. Now, if you don't edit the snippet, what Google will automatically do is pull the first 2 sentences of your article, right? And sometimes, depending on how you want to write, maybe your keyword's not in those first 2 sentences. But for SEO purposes, you want it to be in the first 2 sentences. So here is your opportunity through Yoast to actually add your keyword into the first 2 sentences, even if it's not actually in your article, right, or on your page. So all you would do is edit snippet. And it also gives you, you can see how it will show up on a phone versus a computer. So this is the, so you can kind of see, if there's any funny word breaks or anything, you can go. So this is how it would show up on a phone. This is how it shows up on a computer. But then you can edit the snippet, right? So you can type in whatever. Now I said that my key phrase is I am statements, right? So I changed it. Have you created a list of I am statements? Some people refer to them as self-affirmations, positive self-talk, Now that may or may not have been what I actually said at the beginning. Let me see. Have you created a list of I am? So I pretty much did copy what I had. But but this gives you the power to make sure that in the description that shows up in Google that your keyword is there. Okay. So your SEO title is the title of the page, and then the title. And again, if your title has your keyword phrase, that's wonderful. But you can actually make a change on here where it says slug. Mm-hmm. You can actually change what your title. So your title may have been, I used the power of I am. Notice I didn't do the I am statements, right? But I said that was my key phrase, right? Is I am statements. And so I changed my slug to say the power of I am statements. So that's not the real title was, well, yeah, I guess I do have statements on there, but you can change your title to, again, be more SEO friendly.
And is this for the web, like the HTML address, or well,
no, your HTML address will be, well, and actually you'll get over here on the right-hand side, you see this permalink?
Okay.
You can change the actual URL to be a word or phrase.
Okay.
So yeah, so even if, so mine is, MirelliETC.com / the power of I am statements.
Okay.
But even if though that's the name of my page, I can go over here to the permalink, right, and change it to whatever I want it to be.
Sounds good.
It doesn't have to be the title of the page that you put. It's a wonderful little thing. So the meta description. Okay, so the meta description is what actually is in the header on your website for that page. And a lot of other software, like if you're in Wix or Foursquare or any of those other platforms, you have no way to really change the meta description. Yoast, as part of the plugin for WordPress, allows you to go in and create your own meta description. And that's really what the bots kind of go in and look at. So you can go in, you can create your own snippet, and then you can create your own meta description right here through Yoast SEO, which is very powerful. And a lot of people who don't have Yoast, they don't have those plugins, they don't know how to make their meta description is just going to be, their title is just going to be their website name, and that's it. There's no description in there. But this actually allows you to put a meta description on every page.
Oh, wow.
Which is a powerful programming tool that if you don't use this software, this plugin, you may be missing. Okay, so let's go down here to, and I didn't do any, okay, so now we're going to look at the SEO analysis. Like, what did they look on my page to give me the green? Now, I will not publish anything on the web if I don't have a green SEO from Yoast. There's not a single page on my site that I will publish without it being green. Without seeing the smiley green face, I don't publish. I work on the page until I get the smiley green, right? But it tells you the kinds of things that it's looking for. For instance, I don't have enough outbound links, right? On my content, I didn't link to any other outside source. That would have helped my SEO even more. But for that particular one, there was nothing that I, saw that I wanted to go to another site. But now, I mean, it's been a little bit of time since I've revised this at all. I might now want to like link it to, like if I'm having a Facebook event about goal setting, or I could link it to, I have another company called Amazing Speaks. So I could do something on Amazing Speaks about I am, positive affirmations and link it there. That would just boost me a little bit more. And then the other thing that, I didn't get 100% on is I don't have the keyword in a subheading, right? It says 75% of your higher end or subheadings reflect the topic. That's too much. Oh, I've put I am statements in too many subheadings. So let me see. Where did I? So I have it. It's in my main title. I've got it. Create a positive I am statement. How to use your positive. Some positives. So yeah, so I've used it in 3 subheadings, and Yoast is actually saying, that's probably too much. They want you to use it in subheadings, but they're saying, 3 is too much. Okay, so I could go in and change one.
So is there sort of a give and take on this is on optimization to the website? Like how, like if you want to format it a certain way, you might have to give up some aspects of optimization, and then
exactly. And that's why I'm showing you, it's like you don't have to be perfect on everything to still get a good store and to get your stuff on the first page of Google.
Right.
Because this shows up on first page every single day, all day.
Okay.
For if anyone types in I am statements or the power of I am statements, I am there in every search. But it's not perfect, right? There are things that I could have done to make it even better.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why this is a great example. It's like you don't have to be perfect, you just got to be good.
Right. Yeah.
And use the tools that are there, right? Here are 2 things that says that I could improve. One is my meta description is too long, so I could go in and edit it. I think when I looked at it, I was like going, well, even if it gets cut off at this, it still says what I want it to say. But, they're suggesting that I edit it. Okay, I could. And then my key phrase in the title is not an exact match. Right, so I said my focus keyword was I am statements. And I think I did the power of I am statements. But for some reason, they're saying that's not an exact match. It's like, well, okay. Well, I guess because of the powers in there. But, so those are things that I could tweak, to make it even better. But here are the things that I did correctly. All right. I have an internal link. I actually link this post to other parts of the website.
Oh, cool.
Yay. I have the keyword phrase in the introduction, which is the first paragraph. Well done. I love how it's like, well done, right? My key phrase linked. Good job. It's like I am statements is a good link for a phrase. What they don't like is if you just had the word statements or positive, whatever, that would be red because they're like, oh, no, they want phrases. So it's like, okay. My density, right? I've used it 14 times on this page. You don't want, and the thing is that if I did it maybe another 4 or 5 times, this would turn orange or to red and says you've overused it.
Okay.
Okay. But if you only use it like 2 times, and it's based on the number of words. So if I only use it like 2 times, this also could be like orange and says you haven't used it enough. The keyword phrase in the meta description, like I said, it's like, yes, it's in the meta description. Well done. Previously used key phrase, you haven't used it before, right? So you get kind of SEO if this is the only page that's talking about that specific keyword. And that's why if you go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you would want to only have like one key phrase per page because
per page, right? You're focused on one thing per page.
Okay, and that's going to like increase your like spread of visibility then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, you got it. Okay, so my text length, it tells me how many words I used. I had 696 words. And Google will not index anything less than 300 words. And it gets kind of testy when you go over 1,000.
Okay.
Kind of the sweet spot is between 500 and 750. And so mine is 696. That's kind of the right length. The SEO title, yep, the width is good. That means that that my entire title of my post can fit in Google, in the search results. I'm not truncating anything. It's like actually it'll all show up. And then the key phrase was in the slug. And again, because I changed the slug up here to be the power of I am statements, I get points for that.
Cool.
Okay, so this tool will save you, and it will make your writing much better, and it will actually help you figure out, what are some things you could do to improve. Let me see, is there anything down here in advance that I want to look at? So again, when I set up Yoast and in here in settings, I set some of these, some of these things for here. So, and it's amazing how many people don't, I've seen them. They won't set things up and they actually hurt their SEO. So here are some of the things that I said default. To allow search engines to show this post in results, right? I've said that my default for SEO settings is yes. Now you can, for whatever reason, I don't know why you'd want to, but say no. It's like, no, I want you to show up in search engines, right? Let's see, should search engines follow the links on this post? Yes, because I want to actually create, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, link silos. I want, when a bot comes to like this page, I want it to follow the link to all my other pages. And if there are links on those pages, I want the bots to follow those too. Because every time, like if I make some changes on those pages and a bot goes to that page and notices that something has changed, it gets re-indexed, which means it has another chance to show up higher in the search results.
So we like indexing. We want
Yes.
to index.
Yes. We like indexing.
Okay.
Yes, because we want it to show up. And tomorrow I'll actually show you how to get all of your pages directly pushed into the Google index.
Okay.
Because that's really where, because if you wait for a bot to find, I mean, you know, the bots are great and they go everywhere and, you know, they're all over, but sometimes it takes a little while for a bot to get to your site, right? Because they've got billions of sites to go through. But there is a way, and we're going to show you tomorrow, that you can kind of raise your hand and say, go to my site now.
Huh.
All right, so one of the things that I'm not seeing down here, that I usually see on my Yoast, and I'm like going, huh, where is it missing, is on photos, right? So this is a photo. And when you add a photo in WordPress, what you want to do is for every photo that you've got on your site, up here where it says alternative text, your alt text should be your keyword phrase. Whatever you are. And so why do you do that? Well, because one of the things that Google indexes, not just text, but they also index photos. You know, when you go to Google and do Google Images, how they are pulling up those images is from alt descriptions. So you definitely want to, so you, like anytime, like if you have your logo on your site, like in, you know, somewhere, make sure that the alt description of your logo says DESBA Corporation. Don't just leave it blank, because the bots can't read the photo. The only thing they can read is the alternative text. So you definitely always want to have alternative text, and if at all possible, use your keyword. And so let's see. So I used it there, and then I've got another photo down here. Let's see this one. And again, in my alternative text, it's number I am statements. So if someone did a search in images for I am statements, and those two images showed up, when they click on that image, they're going to get a link to this blog post.
Right, okay.
And that's just one more way, right? That, and usually on Yoast, and I'm not sure why it didn't, usually on Yoast it'll say, you know, good job, your keyword phrase in your images, or sometimes they'll say you neglected to put that, you know, it's always kind of a reminder. So not sure why I'm not seeing that, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have any.
Oh, okay.
I was clearing my throat.
Oh, all right. But yeah, I mean, so on page, you know, what are the things they're looking for? They're looking for the keyword phrase in the title. then they want the keyword phrase in if you use subheads, and they always suggest that for every 300 words, there should be a subhead. Now I used 4, so I probably went a little overboard, but but you should have some subheads, and how to get a subhead, right? Is up here. Oh, here's the heading. You want it to be one of the heading sizes and not paragraph size. The other thing that they don't do is this is an old SEO Yoast used to say that they wanted some things in italics and some things in bold, that they wanted in the text itself, because they thought that was, Google was saying that was how people were like being drawn into the content. Notice the update of Yoast has gotten rid of that. So I did this the old way. I was, I had some phrases in italic, and I had some things in bold. Well, that now Google's not rewarding you for that as much. So I could change it if I wanted. But that was then. This is now. That's why I love Yoast, because it's always updating, right?
Right.
So the other thing, one of the things that they had mentioned in Yoast were the internal links. So what you want to do now, a Google bot will go as far as 6 links deep. Okay, so and when you interlink your content, that's called creating a link silo.
Okay.
So every time a bot comes to a site, to a page, it'll go, and if you allow it to follow the links, it will go to the next page, and it'll review that, try to find the keywords and everything, and try to index it into Google. It will follow up to 6 links deep. So every one of your pages, you want to make sure that it links to somewhere else on your site. So if you look on mine, I've got this link to 2 places. One, I've got, if you need a mental and emotional pick-me-up, click here. And this is another blog post about, I can't even remember which one it is. Let's see here. Mindset and motivation. Okay, so this is a link to my page that I have motivational videos on. I have like 6 or 7, and I say, my favorite, when I'm feeling down, I go to this page and watch these videos. Hope you enjoy them, kind of thing. So, and on that page, there are links to my YouTube channel. Okay, so I know anytime these 100 of people who come to this blog post have the opportunity to click that link, they would see the motivational videos, and they also have a link then to my YouTube. Right. And again, Google loves YouTube. So anytime that you have a link to YouTube, Google says, yay, that's good stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I chose to link to this page, because I know that I'm getting a lot of traffic to this page. Mm-hmm. And so every time the bot comes to this page and then they follow this link to my mindset and motivation page, they go to that, and then they see that there's links to YouTube. The bot is then going back to YouTube and recategorizing all my videos.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that's called spreading the link juice.
Okay. So you're basically creating like a web of links that are all yes. like your content.
Yes,
is like the goal, kind of with each.
That is the goal, absolutely. Okay. So that if you get something working, you can get everything working.
Okay.
Right. So once you get a little momentum here, you're just going to help yourself in multiple other ways.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and there really is kind of little bit of a science behind it,
Yeah.
and really put some thought into how do I want to, what pages do I want bots on more frequently, just to get them recategorized, re-looked at. Because every time a bot goes to a page, it updates in the Google index that, yep, this page is, is it still valid? Is it still, but every time a bot touches a page, it gets kind of refreshed in the Google directory.
Okay.
So, I want that YouTube channel refreshed all the time, right? I want that YouTube channel to, be showing up in YouTube searches. So I linked it there. So I linked it to my video page. And then the other thing that I did down here, the other thing, and this is just a marketing thing, I put a PS, right? The old style marketing used to say that PSs are always read. And for whatever reason, people may stop kind of in the middle, but they will always kind of look at the bottom of the page and go, oh, there's a PS. What's the PS about?
Interesting.
Because that's like where special offers go, or that's where, oh, by the way. So people are just programmed to look at PSs. So I threw a PS on here. And so I talk about my Mirelli community, right? We share training in all areas, marketing, management, mindset, money. Plus we're networking, and you become a lifetime charter member for $50. Yeah, that's right, $50. What are you waiting for, right? And you can kind of see this link goes to my membership levels. And I actually have 3 membership levels out there. But, that's where I also want them to go. Right? I want them to see that this is a membership and see if they want to join or not. Cool. So that's just another page that, I want more visitors to. And so every one of my blog posts, there's a couple that I link to other places, like if there was something in the text itself where I could refer them to membership, I do. But for anything else, if I don't have anywhere, necessarily to send them, I'll always send them to my membership stuff.
Okay.
All right, so you're thinking. I hear you thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just a very different way of looking at the problem, and I'm seeing a lot of when you learn something new and then you kind of see where your own stock can sort of have improvement in. So
right,
through all the ideas of how to improve the Desvo site.
Exactly. And it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little bit of thinking, a little bit of strategy, and go, okay, but yeah, I think your idea of a web, you want your site to be very interconnected.
Yes.
Right? Like the video page, I do change it up every once in a while. And the membership site, the membership page does get updated, every couple months, because I'll add new bonuses or other things to membership. So those pages get updated. Now on some of those pages, they'll link back to different articles or different blog posts, or, there's some that, go to like my business listings, or, just other kinds of things. So I really do try to make sure on every single page, there's 1 or 2 links to somewhere else, so that, people can, if they, they start clicking, they'll end up going different places.
Right.
And that's what I want, right? Because I've got I think I've got over 800 pages out here on Mirelli. So people can get lost, and that's okay. Click around, see what's out there. That's okay. I like it. Now, since you are on WordPress.
Yes.
Another thing that I'm going to show you that for whatever reason, a lot of people miss, in settings, and let me see, is it in, I don't think it's in general. Let me run through the settings real quick. Because, yeah, that's fine. It's either in general writing or reading, but I haven't looked at it in a while because when I set it up. But okay, so it's not in general, but I want to show you a kind of a cool little trick. I don't think it's in writing. It might be in reading. Hold on. Here it is. Okay, so it's in writing settings. So can you get into the back end of Desba?
Excuse me. Not at the moment.
Okay. All right. So, but whenever you do, go into your writing settings. And I just want to show down here, there's a thing that says update services.
All right.
Okay, so update, the only thing if you go into it right now and no one has touched this setting, the only thing that's going to show here is going to be Ping-O-Matic. Okay. Because Ping-O-Matic is owned by WordPress, but these update services, what they do is they are bots. They are mostly search engine bots or directory bots. And WordPress supports all of these, right? The default is just the RPC Ping-O-Matic. And Ping-O-Matic is the biggest, most established. It will go out to most places. But right here where it says these update services, WordPress supports all of these. WordPress, if you tell it to, will send out, every time you update anything on your site, it'll send out a little bot, little message to all of these services that says, hey, I've got new content. Send a bot to my site. So since WordPress supports all of them, if you go to update service, here is the list of it. Right here's the list of everything that WordPress supports. So you can copy that list and put it here in your update services. Right here, this is the whole list. I just copied it in there. And so now every time that and look at some of these, right? So every time that I update my site in any way, Ping-O-Matic gets it, and that's part of WordPress, so you get. But Twingly, Feedster, let's see, who else? Moreover, Blog Digger, Blog Share, Blog Now, Blog Street, Bulk Feeds, News is free. I don't know. Ping Blogs, Ping Feedburner, Syndicate, Blogalot, Blog Rolling, Technorati, which is also a big service. Web blogs, Feed Submitter, Pingarati, Ping My Blog, Geo URL, iPings, Blogalot. Those are all different kinds of directories and search engines that I'm automatically singing a ping to and go, hey, I've got new content. And by doing that, whenever you put new content out there, you generate a lot of activity out on the web. And Google notices when there's more activity going on to your site. It's just it's just a little simple thing to do right here that a lot of people miss. That's like, you know what? If WordPress supports all of them and can send a ping to all of them, why not?
Right. Interesting.
It is interesting. It's very fun.
Yeah, it's I always, I just always find it very cool kind of to learn about how computers think and sort of how like algorithms in the computer science, data science world sort of like works, I guess, computer programming world. So it's cool to sort of like, it's just cool to learn how they're communicating, sort of like what Google sees as, more traffic or more activity.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as just sending a little, flag like, hey, I updated this site. But I don't know, just interesting. Stuff like
Hey, you're one of my people because I think it's interesting too. It's like,
that.
I
Yeah,
love this stuff. I think it's so much fun to kind of figure out. It's like, oh, I could do this. I could do that.
exactly.
Just to give yourself just a little boost. Doesn't have to be a lot.
Right.
But those are the kinds of things when you're looking at your site itself. Once you have your keywords, now, when we talked about yesterday, put a different keyword on every page, kind of a focus on every page.
Right.
Now, when you get to your home page, again, it should only be like, one major, but it's okay to mention kind of your secondary keywords in your text, because the bots, even though you may say like in Yoast, oh, this is the word I'm going for, the bots are going to look at every page, and all of your content. So that page may get categorized or indexed for multiple phrases. Like I know, like mine, even though it says I am statements, when I actually look at my results, I know I'm showing up in the power of I am statements, sometimes just I am, all kinds of little variations. I'm indexed for all of them. So, it's not like you have to use just one phrase. You can do variations on a phrase on a single page. And just because you don't have it as the focus keyword doesn't mean that Google won't also recognize them. All right. Any questions?
Not at the moment. That was relatively harmless. I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Well, and see, and WordPress has made it easier. Like 7 or 8 years ago, you had to actually use the HTML commands
Oh, wow.
for, and no big deal. I mean, because I had like a cheat sheet
Sure.
of this is how you make a heading 2, a heading 3, this is how you make italic, this is how and so you actually had to go in and program like all of the little things. Now WordPress has made it that, just type it in, the heading 1, heading 3, you just kind of highlight it, put the drop down box and say heading 3, and it adds the HTML for you.
Very cool.
So much easier. But I still have that HTML checklist that every once in a while I go, oh, how do I make, oh, okay, yeah, I remember the coding.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't
That's
have to
awesome.
do that anymore. Okay, well, I think that is what we're going to end with today. Now, you said you couldn't get into Google Ads. Is that because you don't have a Gmail account, or you just, because I know sometimes it's kind of a bear to get in.
So, I don't think that we have a Gmail account, but I'm meeting with Linda again tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go over passwords, things like that.
Okay.
And then I should be able to get in on tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, so create a desvacourt@gmail.com just because you're going to want a Google account.
Right.
Okay. Because one of the things we're going to look at tomorrow is Webmaster Tools and the Search Console. And both of those are going to require a Google account.
All right.
So, definitely get yourself a Gmail. And, and even if you never send anything to that Gmail, that, you only use it to access Google services, that's great.
Okay. Oh, so the email doesn't have, like, the email is just to get access to the Google ads. We're going to basically import the website to the Google ad, or tell Google ads what website to look at. So we don't.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just you have to set up a Google account, and the access to the account is a Gmail.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you just need that, and then we can go in and we will hook your website into that Google account. Has nothing to do with the email address. You don't have to send anything. You never have to like check that email address for anything.
Right.
It just gets you access into all the Google stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's easy enough. Then, yeah, I had it very differently in my head, but that's a much simpler, process.
Yeah, because there's nothing, because there's really no reason, to have a Gmail account if you've got a DESBA account, except for Google requires a Gmail to get into their, all their services.
Well,
and Google has a ton of them, so,
very powerful.
But there are a couple that we're going to look at tomorrow that, we'll look at mine, but then you'll know that, when you set yours up, that where to go.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, then I think we're going to end this for today. Because that's pretty much everything I needed to go over today. Because I think you've got a pretty good understanding of what you can do on page. And when you get a chance to get into the back office, you're going to go to plugins. And you know how to do that, right? Go down here to plugins. Where are my plugins? Right here, plugins. And you will do add new. And you'll go to Yoast SEO, and it'll pop up and you'll install. And then that little box down at the bottom will show up on every page. And then you can go in and start modifying so that you get green on all of your pages.
Love that.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, I don't want you to publish anything until you're green.
Right.
It's like no publishing orange and definitely not red. But sometimes, you look at it and the orange, it's like those 3 or 4 suggestions. You're like, I really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no, it'll still publish.
Right.
And if you send people to a specific link, they'll still find it.
Right.
It just won't show up in search engines. And there's some pages that maybe you don't care if it shows up in search engines or not.
Right.
Like your contact page doesn't have to show up in search engines. You may not want 300 words on your contact page.
Right.
Okay, that, what, but at least you understand, and you'll be able to look at the Yoast things of what things are read, and it'll say not enough words, and you go, well, yeah, but it has all the words I want, so.
Right. It's a conscious decision.
Yeah, exactly. Versus, some of the new sites that are out there, and I just shake my head with people because it's a huge picture and it has like 4 words. Yeah. And then it goes down and it's another picture with 3 words. And then at the bottom, there's like 2 sentences. And they're wondering why they're not showing up in search results. I'm like going, well, because absolutely nothing on that first page on your home page got indexed.
Yeah.
If you didn't have alt text in your images, you only got, 50 words on the page.
Right.
And even those aren't keyword focused. So Google doesn't know what to, and so, yeah, if you don't understand it, it's like, yeah, it's pretty, but it's never going to show up in a search result.
Right. Who's looking at it?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, okay. But all right. So I will let you go and have a great afternoon.
You as well. Thank you for meeting back up today. I enjoyed it. Can't wait
Absolutely.
for tomorrow. Is there any
All right.
homework for tomorrow? I know I'm being.
You know what? The only homework is if you can get a Google account, great. If not, don't worry about it. Really, that's probably the only homework at the moment. Plus, you can now start going through your site and looking at your individual pages, and start figuring out what needs to link to where, and just kind of grid that out.
Cool. All right.
All right, good enough. We will see you later.
Awesome. You as
All
well.
right. All right.
Bye.
Bye.